So Tom, tell us about the corn silk fad of the mid-1940s.
Well, it was a summer months, and everybody was smoking corn silk. All our friends in the neighborhood, they were doing it. Whether they were doing it, sneaking it unknown to their parents, I'm not sure. But my parents were a little strict. And John and I talked it over, if we sneak this, we're going to be in big trouble. So we got enough courage, we asked them if we could smoke corn silk. And they were aware of the neighborhood kids doing the same. So amazingly, they said, yeah, it was okay, but don't overdo it. And I think they knew us well enough. It was Mike thinking it was the whim of the month and it wouldn't last long. So we had the permission. My dad sold corn cup pipes in the drugstore for 99 cents. So we each got one. And we went out to the garden, pulled out the darkest corn silk there was on the corn, because we always had a garden out back, and let it dry a few days. And I had found an old Prince Albert tin that you could stick in your pocket, and I thought that'd be neat to store the corn silk in. So that's what I did, and I stuffed it in there, and we used it. It was kind of traumatic at first because it was a different taste, but we kind of got used to it. We enjoyed it. We were big shots. And as the picture shows, we were standing there in our, what you call today, Oshkosh by gosh trousers, but you could see that we were having fun.
Okay. So could you talk a little bit about the picture?
Well, the picture was taken by my mother, Ethel Byrnes, in the corner of our back lawn, and from left to right is my brother John Byrnes, Jim Gormel, Roger Twist, and they all lived in the neighborhood, and then myself, Tom Byrnes, and then down below was our younger brother, Jim Byrnes. So that was the gang. Of course, Jim didn't smoke, but the four of us did. The picture is priceless. I did send one to Roger Twist. I found he's down in Florida, and he appreciated getting that.
How old were you at that time?
I was probably, I'm trying to think, I probably was around 10. I think about 10 years old, and John was almost 10. For 10 days we were the same age, so John and I are pretty close in age. Yeah, but I'm thinking I was about 10, which would be about right, because that would put us in 1946, just after the war.
Okay. So you also have a story about Reggie Gross.
Yes. Reggie was our neighbor to the east, and he was probably, he was 3-4 years older than us, but we always hung around Reg. Whatever he was doing, we'd be trying to get right there, because they farmed it and we loved helping them out. Well, anyway, Reggie teamed up with the Tallman boys. They did a lot of farming together. There was Nick, Jr., and Raymond. And then Reggie's cousin, Doc Shoemaker. So they decided they were going to make their own pipes, and they got the cobs from his dad's corn crib. It was full of corn. I remember it when they built it. It was huge. So they had the pick of the litter as far as a nice corn cob. They stripped the corn, took their jackknives, cut it to the size they needed, whittled out a little hole for the stem, and they reamed it out. They were all set. Now they needed a stem. So they went down just across the hayfield. Well, it's near where Reggie lives now. The creek runs right by his house. And there was elderberry bushes growing there, wild elderberry. Well, I don't know how they found out, whether they were told about it or what, but they used the stem for the stem of the pipe. And inside the stem was pithy, it wasn't solid. So they took baling wire and reamed it through there and cleaned it all out and then fitted it into the pipe. Well, Reggie was in the process of doing this, and he shoved that wire and he pinned his thumb to his forefinger, just like that. Just like that. Oh, he couldn't believe what happened. So he ran up the house, which is quite a ways, and his mother, Claudine, was, she was beside herself, and just then her brother, Ken Peen Shoemaker, drove in, Reggie's uncle, and she hollered out, "Can you take Reggie to the Dax Sneckenberger?" He says, "He's got to be seen." So he took him right up there, and Reg went in, and Dak saw the problem, and in his calm manner, he got things ready, and Reggie says, "Now, is this going to hurt?" Dak says, "No, this won't hurt." So he took some tincture of methylite, just to, it was an antiseptic, and wiped it all the way around the area. And he took the wire, and he wiggled and wiggled and wiggled, and then yanked it out. And boy, it hurt. Red says, "You told me it wasn't going to hurt. It hurt like hell," he says. And he had a few unkind words for Dak, but anyway, Reg never forgot it, and neither did Dak Shoemaker. Every once in a while, he'd see Reg, and he says, "You've been smoking any pipes lately?" So that's the story of the Vermont neighborhood in the corncob era.